I'd like to call to order the East Long Meadow Library Board of Trustees on December 16th. It's about 6:05. And because of personal difficulty reading at the moment, we'll take attendance, and Charles Gray will come to the head of the table and carry on.
From here.
Or from here.
That's fine. Excuse me.
Attendance?
Charlie Gray.
Cindy McNaught.
Virginia Robbins.
Diane Tiago.
David Boucher.
Susan Peterson, Library Director.
Art McGuire. And Charlie will take over the meeting.
Okay, first agenda item is the minutes of the November 18th meeting, which were distributed by Susan earlier.
I did print them out, and they're in everybody's packets.
They're in the packet.
I just decided to give
Thank
you
you.
all the materials tonight.
I looked them over earlier, Susan. I didn't have any questions. Nothing jumped out from my perspective. So does anyone have anything?
Well, Diane, you did a great job of being very comprehensive, and, you know, doesn't take away from David's great job.
No.
I do have to admit, Diane, that there was one word that jumped out when you talked about the chocolatier. It's a word I've never seen in print before, about the gentleman who visited, gentlewoman who visited us on the, last month, I guess it was, Maria Bandruff, and she's a chocolatier.
Mm-hmm.
A chocolate demo she presented.
I think that was on December 9th.
December
I don't have
9th.
the date here.
Was
But,
December, that's right,
The 8th was something else, but it was on December 9th.
yeah.
Had a good crowd for that.
Did they?
And-
That worked out pretty
we got
good?
to have the leftovers.
Leftovers are always good.
Found them upstairs in the staff lounge the next
Uh-huh.
morning.
Because there's the chocoholics here.
Chocoholics?
Yeah.
Yeah, here.
Good.
Chocoholics.
Well, does anyone have any comments, additions, or corrections?
No.
How about a motion then to accept the minutes as submitted?
I'll make a motion to take the minutes as written here.
All right, second. All in favor? Aye. Minutes are accepted. Thank you. Next agenda item is guests' opportunity to address the board. As I look around the room, there are no guests present, so we'll move on to the director's report. And I would just like to, before we move to your report, Susan, the director's report, I have one item to insert with the permission of the board. And that is a comment about, this would be Susan's last Library Board of Trustees meeting. And it's with heavy heart that I say that, because we've already talked about how much we all will miss you and the town will miss you. You have been just a wonderful library director, and we have been blessed to have you working on our behalf and on behalf of everyone in the town. I want to especially share something with you that you might think about, though, as you drive someplace, maybe Maine or maybe someplace else.
Maybe nowhere.
Maybe someplace where it's warmer and there's more sun. But as you think about us, this is something that you might think about. And I share this because Cindy McNaught, our former children's librarian, retired earlier this past year, and this applies to her as well. There was an article in the Springfield Republican Thursday, December 10th. It wasn't an article, it was a letter to the editor, and I just happened to pull it out from a woman in Springfield. And I'll extract from her letter to the editor. It's basically about the old-fashioned bookmobile that we used to have
Oh, I
in
used to work
Springfield.
on it.
And I'll extract it. she says, my first job at age 16 was in the Forest Park branch of the city library. This is where Cindy McNutt got her early training, but I'll continue. I was assigned to the children's room as what was referred to as a page, whose job included making sure books were shelved in their correct order. To this day, I find myself doing this at any library I visit if a book is not in the correct place. I'm sure I learned well from the children's librarian, Escaline Bray. We became very close, friends for life. And she goes on to talk about her memories about the library and the bookmobile. But the point that I would make is, here is this woman, and I should read her name, it looks like Leah Goldman, and she was 16 when she went to the Forest Park Library. Now, I have already shared with you, well, everyone, I guess, that I went to the Forest Park Library, and that Miss Bray was a seminal person in my upbringing and my love of libraries. And here is this lady, probably 60 or 70 years ago, referring to her librarian in much the same way as Cindy and I refer to Miss Bray as our librarian. So you have that to look forward to. You don't know where there are people all over, certainly all over East Long Meadow, but all over people will be saying, you know, Miss Peterson was really wonderful and we miss her. But that's the kind of an influence that you and all librarians, frankly, have
Can't hope for any more than that.
on the communities that they serve. So thank you again, and now with your, I appreciate your indulgence after you, but that's from the heart.
And we hope you have a good last meeting.
That's from the heart. So let's move on. Anyone have anything to add? All right, we'll move on to Director's Report. Susan.
Okay. Let's see. Anybody had a chance to read it over? Maybe with the exception of Jenny. Jenny was just seeing it right now. As I mentioned in my report, we're doing the Giving Tree again this year, you know,
Just
for the shelter in Holyoke. They should be picking up those things at some point this week. You know, so
Probably
we
this week.
made it in time.
Well, I got one last week.
And the nice thing is, though, that there wasn't as much of a demand for things for the kids because there aren't as many kids in the shelter, which is a good thing.
That's a good
Which is a
thing.
good
Although they had
thing.
made some extra ones because they always get some in unexpectedly.
And people want to give
Of course.
more than one thing.
Yes.
Yep. I'll report on the budget process when we get to that on the agenda, but I'd just like to mention that on December 1st, there were quite a few of you there at that meeting, attended, and I name you in my report. I have advertised the job vacancy listing for my position, and I think I'm gonna advertise it on the Connecticut job board site.
Is it on Massac?
No, it's not on Mass Yak. It's on the MBLC
I know that.
website, and it's on the Simmons Graduate School job line. But Sharon mentioned to me about putting it on the Connecticut, probably the Connecticut Library Association has a webpage, so I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Good.
You know, and those are all, you know, viewed nationally. And I just wanted to mention to people that, you know, the holidays are coming up, and just as a reminder to you all, that as per, you know, contractual obligations, we will be closing at 12 noon on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. And then, of course, we're closed for the holidays, you know, December 25th and January 1st. But we are open on the Saturdays of those weekends, just to let everybody know. So, you know, and our hours are posted on our website and also on the doors as people come in. That's pretty standard. We do that. Any more questions?
Oh,
I did want to mention, I went to the author program. There were 3 children's authors.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And it was very well attended, and it was very, very good.
good.
So
Good.
they did a good job.
Yeah, I had heard that there were quite a few people.
Yeah,
there
I'd say at
to
least
hear them.
probably 50.
Wow, that's great. That's great.
It was nice.
Anyone else have any thoughts at this point? All right, then let's, don't forget to turn off your phones.
Isn't there
I
a
love
policy
it.
about that?
I love it, God bless me. All right, well, let's move on to the financial report.
You should have all that in your packet.
Both, are you gonna do the budget all at the same time?
No, we'll save that for,
Okay,
after the correspondence and all that.
gotcha, okay. So this
Yeah, we're getting to be almost
this will be the
halfway through
monthly
the
and the
year.
year-to-date operating budget.
Yep.
Right.
It looks pretty good. The only thing that is not up to date, according to Olga in the accountant's office, is the posting for the state aid amount that we received back in November. I guess it was supposed to be posted on November 19th, and there was a delay. I mean, it's not that we don't have the money, it just hasn't been posted into the munis, so it's not reflected here.
Yes.
But the money is there, she just hasn't done it, because I noticed that the amount was lower, so I went over and asked her about it, and she said there was a delay with that particular one. All the other ones are pretty, they are current through, like, the end of last week. And we have good balances in all of these accounts.
Susan, I noticed like almost at every meeting, we hear, oh, well, this wasn't posted or that wasn't
Yeah.
posted. Like a deposit here or so forth.
Mhm.
Is there any,
Reason for the delay.
reason for that? Do you know what?
I don't know.
Accounting,
I don't know their
their
time
procedure.
frame.
Yeah,
I don't know
okay.
their procedure. I don't know. So that's why I asked how recent are the, how recent are the amounts, what's reflected in these amounts?
Okay,
What does it include,
yeah.
the postings? And I was just told with this state aid account 2511, that amount that we received back in mid-November isn't reflected in this
Okay.
amount, so it should be higher.
But the
others
all
have.
expenses
Mhm.
and all
Oh,
other
yes,
expenses
yeah,
and stuff
everything
are
else
up.
is current, the salaries and
Okay.
the operating and
So it's just a coordination thing and not
Mhm.
a sign of a poorly functioning
Oh, no,
accounting department.
no, I mean, we have the money, it's just not in there.
It's just a time frame.
Yeah, no,
I don't have time
it's good to
right
be
now.
sure of that, though.
Pardon me?
It's good to be sure of that.
Yes, it is good to be sure of that. Absolutely.
Any other questions, comments?
Pretty straightforward.
And I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the director's report as submitted and the extract of the munis report, the budget report as submitted.
I'll second that motion.
Oh, great, well, I'll make the motion then, and you can second it, how's that?
That's right.
All right, done. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Director's recommendation and/or information.
So,
Fire
by
away, Susan.
informational purposes, I just wanted you to know that the town clerk informed all the departments that have elected boards and commissions that whatever positions are available, whatever positions will be up for re-election this April, the nomination papers are ready at, the town clerk's office if you wanted to take them out, and they're due back by February 3rd to be done in time for the April 12th election. And for this year, it's Ginny's position and your position.
Okay.
If you, so you two have to, you know, decide if you want to
Go
run
forward.
again. So I leave that up to you or other people to twist your arms or whatever. So I'm just letting you know that any old time, I think you need 50 signatures, you know, so you can go over to the town clerk's office. But-
And they recommend a few more.
Yes.
Yeah, probably,
You know.
yeah, just to be on the safe side. So there's that.
I'll be happy to sign both of your papers. That's the kind of guy I am.
You're a good guy.
You know,
Doesn't-
Ginny told me yesterday, how many years have you been on the board? You told me. Do you remember what you said?
I think it was
Yeah.
35,
Wow.
Yeah,
something like.
yeah.
And we're standing strong.
I know, and we're still here.
No, I was appointed in 79
Wow,
Well,
and then elected in 80.
yeah. That's great.
long time.
That is, I mean, that
I
should
know.
be worth a round of applause.
yeah.
I mean, 35 years? That's
She's got the
great.
scars to show it, huh?
And you
That's
too,
great.
with the building and
So
everything.
what's another 3 more, you know, right?
To try.
I'm not gonna say anything, but anyways. And then, in your packet, I just included some miscellaneous things, an updated staff and trustee listing with everybody's addresses and phone numbers and email addresses that you can, you know, keep at home. I have, what else is
Yeah,
here?
go ahead.
What else is
Sorry.
here? I lost, the calendar for December for the children's events, the latest cover-to-cover library newsletter, where they put a little thing at the front saying
Farewell. look at that.
farewell to the director.
Above the fold, too. This is good.
Yeah, above the fold. And I was interviewed by a reporter from the Reminder last week.
terrific.
And there will be a picture and an article in the Reminder,
Well, that's wonderful.
probably New Year's Eve, about me. And then LCAT's gonna be interviewing me on Monday for a little piece, you know, that will be viewable.
Well, that's
So that's nice,
Yeah.
that's nice, you know.
that's terrific.
And then, what else
Will
do
it
I
be-
have in there?
Will that be produced by Kelly Glover?
Oh, I don't know who does the final editing.
Our news girl that will do it.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's good. Under your supervision, I assume.
Was there anything else on the left-hand side? I think I
Oh, here.
covered most of that.
no, that's-
No, that's it. I didn't have any, like, correspondence.
I didn't see
Just the
anything,
newsy
yeah.
items. I think that's it for miscellaneous news and information.
No legislative news.
No, not right now, I think. No. Does anybody have anything else to report on? Any meetings, anything? No? Any upcoming
No,
things? No?
nothing that we haven't talked about before. The Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners are continuing to have their regional meetings. They had one for, gosh, I'm gonna say it wrong, but it's institutional libraries in Palmer on Monday night. We were invited, but we didn't, we're a municipal library, so we didn't have to participate. But that's continuing, and they're continuing to fly the flag, and all libraries are in it together, I guess. That's as good a way of looking at it as any. But I haven't heard anything, if anybody else has heard anything.
Okay.
Okay. Anything, okay, new business. We move to new business, and Susan, you still have
Okay.
the chair, the floor as always.
So for those of you who went to the December 1st meeting, which was an informational meeting to plan our next fiscal year's budget, you might have remembered some of the guidelines that the Appropriations Committee mentioned for that meeting. And, among them was, all the budgets have to be submitted, not necessarily, it's not a finite thing, but submitted to the town accountant so they can start reviewing them by January 5th at 4 o'clock. And they gave some guidelines about how, when all is said and done, the committee would like to see more of a level-funded budget. However, if it goes above that, no more than 2%, they would need to see some justification as to, why we're requesting the extra funding for, in whatever line items that we might have. So, all that being said, and given the short time frame that we have to get things together, I spent some time working out all the salaries, for all the staff, because the bulk of our budget is personnel. So I did all that. However, what you're seeing here is what I've worked on. And I was speaking to the town accountant today, and there are a lot of unknown variables in our budget going forward, considering I'm leaving. We don't know who's going to be the director, how much they're going to be paid. I have another full-time staff member who's retiring in February, and so we need to fill that position. And I don't know how much that position will be paid, and that person was at the highest step. So when I budgeted for that position, which is in here, I had to budget for a lower amount. Longevity amounts are less because I won't be here, and they won't be paying me longevity. You wouldn't be paying that person longevity. So that translates to a lower amount. So there are significant projected salary savings, if all is according to, going forward. And the other factor is that the union negotiations are still ongoing for all the employees in this library, except for me. And considering that that's the same contract that was in effect until this past June 30th, so that none of the staff has gotten any cost of living increases. And I can't budget for any cost of living increases. I don't know what they're going to be.
Yes.
None of that is reflected in here. And according to what I've heard is that once that, whatever that is, gets added in, it could be a percentage point, it could be 1.5%, 2%, whatever. Once that all gets added in, they still don't want to see more than a 2% increase in the overall budget. I mean, they're like really sticking to that. So since I don't know what that is, that's not in here either. But as you know, in order for us to get our state aid funding, which is absolutely crucial because we use that entire amount to pay for our CWMR's network fees, which is over $30,000 next year.
Yep.
And that's about what we get, for the year for
Right,
state
so
aid
that's-
funding. We need to have a certain amount on the bottom line of our budget going forward. Now, right now, this figure doesn't reflect that. It's a lot lower. It's a lot lower by 14,500 than last year. So what you have to think of is whatever savings you're realizing in salaries. It would be my recommendation to put a big chunk of that into like our book budget, because we have to expend a certain amount in books. And this amount here that's budgeted is the minimum amount that they wanted to see. No more than $500 or 10% high, or whichever amount is higher, and in this case, it's $500. So I added that in, but that doesn't even begin to cover what we need to spend in books. So basically, if you added in the savings and salaries to the book budget, it would meet the requirement that we need for the book budget, and it would give us the budget that we would need. Am I making sense? You're
Yeah.
looking at me.
No. I get that.
So in other words, as the budget looks now, it's too low. It's too low. But I'm not making up numbers that I can't make up.
Right.
But soon,
Well,
you'll know what they are,
I'm-
and you need to make the bottom line come up.
I'm comfortable with what you've done. I'm especially comfortable with the fact that you've talked with the town accountant
Today, yeah,
as recently as today, and she's comfortable with the way you set it up, and she understands what our circumstances
Yeah.
are.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So going forward, we're not going to be the only people who understand how this came about and how this was created and what we have to do in order to make sure the town of East Long Meadow gets the reimbursement that's appropriate from the state.
Right,
And she's aware of it, we're all aware of it, so I think you've positioned us, and I think we're in a great position. That's my personal feeling.
No, it's true, yeah.
Okay? All right.
But the state wants 2.5% increase
the 2.5% above the average of the
last
previous 3 years.
3 years,
Yeah.
and we're short of that.
Oh, yeah.
We will be if we stick with this number.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah, so it needs to be increased, and that's why I brought this to you looking like this, so
Right.
you know where it is, you know, like, this is where it is, but it can't stay this
That way.
low. But the money
That saved
is
from-
available, it will be available.
Because we'll be paying less in salary.
Right. And as it is, I budgeted for my position at the top end of what we advertised the position for.
Okay.
So, I mean, who knows,
They're
you
gonna
might
be-
not pay that person that, you might pay them less
We're
than that.
we're not alone. There are gonna be challenges townwide, not for this kind of a unique situation, but for areas where there are minimum wage employees. The
Right.
state has mandated increases to the
And I have that in here.
minimum wage,
Yeah.
and that compounds the year-over-year salary comparison, because it's really different from a cost of living raise. It's a
Right.
set number.
Right, and I have that in here. We have 3
We
library
have
pages
three pages who
who
get,
combined work 22 hours a week, and automatically,
they get
getting $1 an hour
more,
increase.
$1 an
Yeah.
hour increase. And so that we are impacted, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
but that's gonna hit the town on other departments too, so. So we put it in and tell our story at the appropriate time. The only thing I would like is, Susan, for you to, and what is today, the 17th, what's the date? 17th? 16th, I mean. You're gonna be around for a while, so if you could come up with a recommended number for that.
Right, well, I'm gonna add that into what they call the supplemental budget.
Supplemental, with justification?
And the reason why, and
Or
I just
with
wanted to
reasons.
run this by you,
So,
because
yeah.
when it does
That's good.
get submitted, that's what I'm gonna be
Okay, good.
recommending. Okay?
Anything
Yeah,
else?
there was no opportunity to explain this at the
No.
last meeting that we
No.
went to,
And-
December 1st.
And any of you, if you wanted to contact our liaison,
Yeah.
Dawn Starks, you know, her name and phone number and, you know, email address is right there, and, you know.
She's our
liaison
contact
on the
with
appropriations
appropriations,
committee,
yes.
yeah. So, you know, feel free, you know, especially after I'm not sitting in the seat anymore, and, you know, any of you have the least, you know, question in your mind. And
She-
also, talk to the town accountant, I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, that's
you
very
know, or Sarah, I mean.
Or Sarah.
You know, you know, as Charlie said, I'm sure our position won't be
Unique.
unique, you know. But I just wanted you to see where it is as it is now, and knowing that there will be more requested for those reasons that I said. Because, and another reason is, you know, now that our Friends Group has approved to fund a lot of our programming, that leaves them with fewer funds to pay for other things that, you know, if we had the extra funds in our budget, we can take over the funding of those, and then the Friends can continue on with other, you know, fundraising things and programs, so.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just mindful of, you know, the other areas that we get funding from. So if we had the needed funds in our town appropriated budget, then we can go to those other areas and get funding for the, things that we use those things for. And then as far as the revolving fund, I'm assuming that, you're still gonna be, advocating to get our library fines, in the coming year. And I guess they're gonna do them the same as they did last year. They lump all the different departments' revolving funds together for approval at town meeting, like they did last year, but it'll state the amount and everything. So, I recommend just asking for the same amount, and, there'll probably be a time frame to
A
submit
peak
that.
of 15,000.
Yeah.
Okey-dokey, good.
So
Anything
I have
else?
almost 3 more weeks to
Keep
get,
up the good work.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and these budgets are terrific, and I can remember you giving me a walkthrough and some of the records that you had kept independent of the budget so that you could verify the numbers as they were coming off of the system. It was remarkable. So in addition to stimulating and turning any number of generations of children into lifetime readers and helping all of us older readers over the years, you've also done a pretty good job of balancing the budget.
Oh, thank you.
Exemplary job, I
Thank
should
you.
say. Anybody have any? Well, look at her grinning over there. Welcome back, good to have you back. Yeah,
She's
you
done a
got
good
anything you
job.
might want to add at this point?
Just that she's done such a great job.
Yeah.
And you will be missed, Susan.
Okay, well, let's, then
Very
we,
much so.
I don't know that we need an approval for this. This is really sort of a
No.
draft budget at this
Right.
point.
Right.
Right.
So let's move on then to old business. Or wait,
Actually, the new
library
business
search.
was the
Did we want to
search.
talk about, we'll talk about in generalities and then maybe talk about the specifics?
Our search committee has not had occasion to meet
Right.
yet.
Okay, that's important. And the other committee,
Well, we coordinated, based on Susan's input, the
The ad.
ad for the
Which I've
position.
included in all your packets.
And
so
the
you can see.
position was posted the day after Thanksgiving as per plan. And it's out there working as we speak. And you might say, Susan, who expanded the search, the web search too. Might share that with folks.
Well, I'm going to advertise in the state of Connecticut
State of
website,
Connecticut.
but it's the Massachusetts Library, the Board of Library Commissioners website,
Right,
and then the Simmons College Graduate Library School
right.
website. But it's also on our webpage, and it's
Perfect.
also on the town's website.
So we got it out there, it's working. That's good.
has the committee thought about expenses to be paid to some of our applicants and visitors?
Not yet, no.
That'll come.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
But I did include a copy of the ad
Yeah, I see.
in your papers so that you can see what went out there.
that's sort of half on the library director search and half under old business, so that's a reason.
So I will keep the committee posted as to, anything that needs to be reported on between now and the next time you all meet, you have your next meeting.
Perfect, that sounds great. Okay, any other old business from anyone on the board? Okay. Library Friends, Diane.
Oh, alrighty. I did write some items up just for that, that have,
I included it all in your packets, and I redid the last page.
okay.
So you can see, it looks like this, with this in there, and then there's one that's announcing a program that the funds are going, the Friends are gonna sponsor on Great Decisions, which is the last.
Oh, I saw
There
that.
it is.
You sent this to
Yeah.
us.
I did, I sent
I
it to you
saw
by.
this
But I
already.
kind
Yeah,
of,
I saw it
I
online.
kind of sent you the revised last page.
Oh, good.
But the first 2 pages are the same, but, I didn't know whether you all had time to
I did look at it.
look it over.
Imagine having a golf tournament in our
Yeah.
library.
I had seen that.
I hope you're
before.
gonna come.
Yeah, I hope.
You've got to
If I,
come.
if I get the appropriate number of strokes, I'll play anywhere and against anyone.
And you?
I'm just saying though, it looks like there are 10 holes here. A golf course has
Yeah.
either 9 holes or 18 holes.
That's right.
We're
I'm
Well,
just
it's
saying.
a bonus.
We're
It's a
going right to
bonus
the
one.
10th.
It was a bonus. Anyways, well, for those individuals who are in TV land aren't sure what we're talking about here, first of all, let me say that the Friends had a meeting on Monday evening, December 7th, and what they have come across as from that other libraries have done is an indoor
I saw that.
miniature golf
Yeah.
fundraiser.
I had seen that.
So, you know, they went through and checked it all out and had the gentleman come, and they decided to schedule it for March 5th. It will take place here between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
That's a Saturday, right?
It is a
Yeah,
Saturday,
okay.
definitely, because we want as many people in the community who
When do
would
we
like
have-
to join us to have the
when do we
ability.
have that,
10 to 3.
Library trustees
Uh,
meeting?
It has
2 weeks
its
after
own
that.
little name. It's called A Whole Lot of Fun, and it's whole, HOLE, a whole lot of fun. The event itself is free, but of course, they are open to any donations, whatever
For the
donations.
Greens fees.
Yeah, the green fees, that's right. I think it's made out of some type of foam that they put together
Yeah.
and so forth. The Friends are trying to get maybe some sponsors to
Sure.
help with some of the costs, because there is some upfront cost with regards to it.
So a business could sponsor a whole
That's
or
right, that's right,
nonprofit,
as
a
if it
different
was
group could
a golf
sponsor a.
tournament.
Remember
We
the
know
golf
about
tournament?
golf.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
kind of like a golf tournament, only
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah, inside. They thought the month of March might be kind of a fun time to do it. The gentleman had it available. There was a couple of dates in March. March is kind of a hard month to
Yeah.
get through. It's kind of
Right.
what I'd call is one of the hardest times. It's kind of gray and dark, and the leaves haven't
Snowy,
started budding,
yeah.
you know,
Long.
and
And
so
I'm
forth.
so anxious for
Yes,
the spring
yeah.
season.
So this is for adults and children at
It's
the same
family.
time.
It's
a family.
yeah.
It's a family event.
inclusive
Okay.
event.
Yep.
It certainly is meant to be an event. It's not a drop-off event
Right.
and come pick
Your
up
kids.
afterwards.
Right.
It is an all-inclusive family event. And what I put in with this little packet is what the template is as far as where the locations of the different holes are going to be.
I know.
So I thought.
With yardage. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's
Par
that's
3,
terrific.
par 4, are they all? Par 3.
This is good.
I used to golf
It
too.
still will
I
take me
used to
7
That
strokes.
number 9 looks like a long hole.
Yeah, that's tough.
Diane, I know the details will
Yeah.
be forthcoming as we get
That's more.
closer.
Right.
Such things as availability of putters and availability of golf balls and that kind of stuff. I'm sure those details are gonna be ironed out so that we can advertise them.
Oh, well, you know.
Or maybe you've
there's-
already done it?
There, you know, I really should have the ladies who are in charge of it. There's a committee just in charge of that. They could probably describe all of what's
Well,
going on a lot better than me.
As we get a little closer,
Yeah.
we'll
They
share the
provide
details.
everything,
Yeah.
and it's not
But
like
I
a
mean,
whole
they-
lot of
And
people
our side
wielding a
that's
whole lot of.
discouraged.
Yeah.
The last thing I was gonna comment on, and it's to your credit, although there's some of us who might have reservations, there's no 19th hole.
No, it's called a 10.
That's what the 10th one is.
Oh, is that right?
I think that's a 10th on this one.
That's the,
All right.
the,
All right, then. God help me.
I know it.
so anyway, so, yeah, so,
Terrific.
So they're gonna be hitting the golf balls down the stairs,
well, the,
and real golf balls. That's what this shows. It goes-
Yeah, it does show.
Fairway goes down the
Down the
stairs.
stairs, yep.
Helmets for all, or are you gonna have ping pong balls instead?
I think, let's see, when you look at the template that's in front of you, the one on the left-hand side indicates the first floor, level floor. And then, of course, after the 6th hole, you must walk up the stairs to get to the 7th, and so forth. I would,
And no cards.
no cards, no, you can't go into the elevator.
The book cards, you go out of book cards. up
Looks
the
like
elevator.
hole 3 has a dog leg.
There is a
It's
dog
on
right there.
leg, yes.
That'll be a 4-shot hole for me.
So, anyway, so hopefully it will be a fun afternoon for all, and I'll let you know as I understand things that are from the group that's in charge of this fundraiser.
This is great, and it shows a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm, and thank the people who are putting it together.
It's
And
it's
if
gonna be
it's-
so fun
And it could turn into an annual.
event.
Terrific,
Yeah.
terrific.
Is it a par 30?
The Masters Golf Tournament is the first week of, no, that's April, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's getting close, though. Golfers start getting a little twitchy around the middle of March.
Well, they could
Yes,
come
I-
practice, they could come practice over here. Anytime.
More twitchy?
Yeah,
Thank you.
But what, this also was voted on to give this a try, because everything's trial and error no matter what. But what we found is our tried and true annual book sale, the spring book sale, is going to be replaced. And the book sale is not going to take place.
Oh, and
Not
At
the
all.
annual one.
This-
The ongoing one is always.
The
Okay.
ongoing is constant, that won't stop.
No.
But found out that, or my understanding is that to tie up the room next door for 2 full weeks
At
is
least.
too much.
Yeah.
It's just too much. There's other programs going on, and it just can't be. So we're gonna see if this might not fill that gap and bring in the funds. So, stay tuned. I'll keep you all abreast as to,
Right.
as things, as I find out more, I'll share with you.
I would just say that it'll be a loss, but I understand the necessity of looking at some of these things again. But that area on the first floor to the right, as you walk in the main lobby of the library, that area that's been dedicated to the sale of books that have been donated to the Friends, to the library, and that are being sold on the Friends' behalf, that has really developed very well, and there are books in there that were on the bestseller, that are still on the bestsellers list, that are being sold for a very, very reasonable price. I think $2 for a $30 book is pretty reasonable, and there are a lot of them, and they're first-rate, quality books.
Yep.
And the number of book cases allocated to those books has increased.
Yes.
We've started with 1 or 2, and now there's probably 4 or 5 or even 6.
Yeah. Last year, we did a whole thought process on how we wanted to
It's really,
redesign the
it's
whole
really,
area.
it's
to
really
make the most of
marvelous.
it.
So if people haven't been in and looked at those books, or at that area specifically, come in and look at them. I know you'll find something that you will want to read or take home or give to someone. And it'll help the Friends, it'll help the library. But that area has really, really been terrific, I think.
Can I ask you, is the children's book sale not gonna happen as well? Because usually they're running, or you're not sure?
Yeah, I don't know, I just know about the
adult,
the adult,
the main book
the
sale.
main one
Yeah.
in the,
Okay, so that may or may not happen for the children's one.
as far as I know.
If the children's book sale takes place in a different
In-
It does
place,
take,
then
in the
I don't think it would
activity,
affect that.
Isn't
Right.
a
It's just
combination
the
of the children's was a
conflict with the
big sale
community.
and the book sale?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
So,
I can double check on that for you.
well,
and-
and I think the children's room usually puts that on, so.
Yeah, it just was, the timing of it was at
And
the same time.
sometimes they get some help from the Friends to man it. but-
Yeah, well, we'll
Or
find
women
out.
it.
Okay.
The other item is that I brought to you has to do with this Great Decisions
Upcoming program.
that Sharon brought to the attention of the Friends. It's program with regards to, it's to interest for people who are politically minded or are interested in politics and foreign policy in particular.
Can't see these.
The Friends are helping to provide the finances needed in order to get the booklets.
Right,
And
the
the-
materials that go
yeah.
along to help people prepare for the topic, you know, for the meetings. Been quite a few libraries in the area over the years that are doing this program called Great Decisions, and the reference staff and I thought that this being an up-and-coming election year, as if we don't know, it would be a really good opportunity to, you know, participate in this program. And, you know, it just gets people together talking about it. And it will be advertised in the Reminder, probably in the Springfield Republican. You know, for us, it's set to start on February 2nd, but there'll be a lot of information about it in the paper. And also, the meetings require a participant who would like to be a moderator. So once this is advertised and, you know, it's generating some interest, if anyone is interested in moderating one of the discussions, to get in touch with the reference staff upstairs in the library. So there'll be more information about this in the paper after the new year.
And then my
But there
other
are some,
item,
the topics, you know,
I'm sorry.
Diane,
Yeah, we can
you know, the
stop.
topics are obvious, you know, just for an example, Middle East alliances, the rise of ISIS, the future of Kurdistan. You know, and remember, it's put on by the Foreign Policy Administration, so all these topics are gonna have to do with, you know, foreign policy-related
The
issues. The Koreas, climate change, Cuba and the United States, you know, relations between the two countries. So a lot of really, yeah, and important and
topics.
relevant and in the news kind of things. So, you know, this is the year. I mean, you know, get some people together and start talking about this stuff.
I understand they have this in Amherst in Northampton. Do they have it otherwise in the Springfield area?
They had it in Long Meadow.
They
I
did.
don't know whether they're doing it this year, but we thought we'd jump on the bandwagon
Give it a shot.
and do it this year too.
Good
So,
idea.
as I said, there'll be more information about it in the media.
Good.
and then the last item I had was just a list of, you've asked me from time to time, what
Oh,
are
I
the
saw
different
that.
museum passes and
This
so
is
forth.
great,
So
yeah.
I thought I would share that with you,
What,
get to get a,
Can you read these off?
I'd be more than happy to.
These are the museum passes that are provided by, at the library by through the courtesy and efforts of the Friends Group.
Right.
What are they?
The Springfield Museums, the Berkshire Museum in Pittsfield, Eric Carle Museum in Amherst, Historic Deerfield, Mystic Aquarium in Connecticut, the Norman Rockwell Museum in Stockbridge, Smith College Museum of Art, and then there's the USS Constitution Museum. I wanted to make sure that it was understood it's not Old Ironsides
It's
itself. So it's the museum, it's Building 22 in Boston. And then the zoo at Forest Park. So those
I tell
are courtesy of the Friends, become a member and you have
That's
that
terrific.
available.
That's wonderful.
That
It
is
That is a
terrific.
wonderful thing that you guys do.
That is terrific.
So that's what I
It's
can
quite a
share.
list. It's more extensive, frankly, than I remembered, and that's good news.
They add things and sometimes delete things
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
tweak it.
Mhm.
Okay.
So they're free passes, what, 4 to a person?
I think it depends on
It
the.
depends on the,
Some are free,
the
some are
place.
$8 off.
Yeah.
no, but it usually includes, you know, the passes for more than just one person.
Oh,
It can be,
absolutely.
yeah.
You know, up to a number of people,
It's
you
usually
know,
up
like
to 4.
four.
I think it's
Yeah.
up to 4.
Family things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the website, it explains like you need to, well, contact the front desk here
Right.
and so forth. You know, find out whether or not they're even available for the time that you want them.
Go.
But I believe there's, what, a 3-day period.
Right, and then you have to bring it back, obviously, because
Yeah.
somebody else
But you
may
check
want
it
it.
out just like a book.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
they get checked
For
out, so it counts
whatever
as
the limited
circulation.
time is.
Right, right. So,
Sounds good.
Okay.
okay.
Great. I don't know that we have any important dates that we have to cover, Susan, unless you,
No. I did talk to Sharon Bellenoit about her availability for trustee meetings in the future. She's fine with Wednesday nights.
okay?
You know, that's a night that she works, and 4 weeks from tonight is January 13th, if you wanted to.
January
set the next
13th.
meeting for then.
The next meeting will be set for January 13th. Before we adjourn, I would like to entertain a motion that we move to executive session to discuss potential salary issues, negotiations, and that we move to executive session. Once it is completed, we adjourn. So I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Okay, a second, anyone?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion, anyone, any discussion, everyone in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, I guess we have to vote by
You have to-
name.
Yeah.
Charlie Gray votes aye.
Cindy McNutt votes aye.
Virginia Robbins votes aye.
Diane Tiago, aye.
David Boucher, aye.
Art McGuire, aye.
Okay,
We are in.
we are now in executive session.